got my postgraduate MSc degree and the PhD from Russia. So I have at least to clarify for you from where the Russia live. I know that majority of the audience, they are practicing it in their practice, but at least to know from where, who invented the Russian lips. We know the lips is all of us, it is signature of the beauty, especially for the woman. So it draw attention of the aesthetician, for the sculpturists, the painters. Always, whenever they draw the face, they pay too much attention to the lips, to keep the lips within the normal proportion, to keep what our colleague before me talked about it, to respect the golden ratio and the race of that person. Of course, the art and the poem and aesthetic as one pillar of the philosophy, and they draw their attention toward the lips. It's been reflected in all, I know that in all nations, they talked about the lips, and I'm sure that our dear Professor Ustad Khalifa, he has at least a couple of the lines about the lips in his poetry. If he دكتور مثلا شفتاك دجلة وفرات وبعدين حضرتك كمل. Okay, this is our great poet, the Quran, who is the founder of our official language, which is Sorani in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. Let's talk about the function of the lips over the chronological history. What happened? What the mode of the lip? Of course, the forms and the painting of the lips, many changes happened to it. From the slim, pale, and fairly visible to the extremely large lip. So we are going through the trends of the lips. If we are going to the old Egypt, we remember before of all of them, the Nefertiti that we assume that Nefertiti shows from the Iraq, from the Zagros mountain. Anyhow, we are talking about the lips, that they are painted and they are enough large. And of course, majority of the Egyptians at that time, they simulate this kind of the model there. In the middle centuries in Europe, because of the church was the center of all the legal codexes within the community, they regard the lips to become a part of the sexual representation of the woman. So they tried in the community to hide the lips. So always they went with a slim lip and hide the lips. Later on, if you are looking at the previous century, at the Western modernization happened in 1920, the accurate lips was the thin and delicate, and they were painting only the inner part, not the contour, accentuating the contour of the lips. So at that time, only accentuation by the paints and the dye and what were available at that time, the lipstick pomades. And we have a lot of people who were popular at that time, as you see in this picture. Later on, the Max Factor, that I'm sure that majority of the ladies, the Max Factor is one of the brands for the cosmetics. They invented rosebud lips that at that time they advocate for the bigger lips. And later on, little by little, the lips from the volumization to have the different kind of the forms, like the lips, vampire lips, and Napoleon lips. Later on, if we look at the time after the Second World War, because of the many soldiers, the males became died at the bottle. So the women were obliged to attract the attention of the little number of the males that were available at that time. So they got to have a bigger lips and have darkening the paint over the lips. And at the end, we are reaching to the era of the supermodels that fortunately also it's now available in Iraq because of the many globalization process. Not fortunately, actually, I'm not to say like that, but the lot of supermodels appeared in the fashion arena. So at that time, one of them from the Africa. So it became the you know that we know the African continent. Usually they have bigger lips than that we have in Asia. So this became the trend in the Europe. So they use silicone and other gels to increase the volume of the lips extraordinarily. But this trend took a lot of time to be accepted by the European countries. Anyhow, now with the lot of intervention and advocacy from the physicians and from the doctor's side, they are advocating for the concept of the natural lip and the beauty. They consider the beautiful woman should have the harmony and toward the natural lips. The natural lips, it means that aesthetic lip, but it should be healthy. It should not harm the lip or harm the health of that person. So this will be actual nowadays trends that we should, as a doctor, at least as a dermatologist, to advocate for it. And in spite of that, we know that now the trend of the large lips, it's too much, let us say, widespread among the population. I won't go through all the techniques but at least this picture, if we are looking at the profile, yes, the person or that lady, she got big lips. But what about the profile? The profile when they went. Of course, there will be production of the duck's lip, and it is a part of the disharmony between the proportion of the face and actually from the if considering the aesthetic principle, it is ugly. So it should not be from the line from the tip of the nose to the chin, should not pass over that line. I will go through these slides because I would like to shorten my message. Now we'll go to the Russian Federation. What is the grey cosmetology as general? What they say? Because till now there is no rule and regulation, not only on Russia, in all over the world. And how the Russian lip develop? Is it professional, medically? Well, we know that we have a black market. Black market means that it is against the law. If no law is present, but ethically it is not accepted, it means we will locate in the gray zone. So they call it in Russian Federation the grey cosmetology. They are using of non-registered bad quality filler gels or polypeptides that are not registered and not past the quality control procedures, and usually done by non-doctor personnel, aesthetic personnel, as we have in Iraq, for example, خبيرات التجميل ما أعرف خبيرات الصالون. And of course by another specialties. I don't recommend for other specialty apart from the dermatology and the plastic surgery, who knows the nature of the skin and the nearby the structure there in delicate way to practice this work. So this is the grey cosmetology. Of course, the Russian, how it developed. Some says, for example, in some seminars that it is resembling the matryoshka, Actually, it is not the souvenir of the Matrusha. It is not related to that, the Russian lip, because it is developed just in the Russia and not related. I should introduce to you the hero of the Russian lip, who is the Yevgen Braude, who is not doctor. He worked at the first in the gray zone of the cosmetology. How great he was first, his name is Jan Silin, and unknown youth that claimed to have the engineering education, primary education, no medical training and education actually. He started in the gray zone how? He worked as a courier, the delivery services, to provide non-qualified, non-registered fillers and botox to the people who were not doctors. Some of them, they were doctors, but they were interested to get fillers in lower price and quicker process. Because when I was there, I practiced cosmetology there. I got certified there. You should have a workshop at the definite company so that you get the account you can buy from that company to provide the fillers for you. So he claimed to have the 8,000 deliveries in Moscow city. Later on, in 2017, he got training of the assistant of the physician with one of the plastic surgeons. 3 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. And after that, when he got the training in the clinic of one of the plastic surgeons, later on he did individually at his home, but without any infection control, without any gloves. He was doing the procedure as you see on the sofa, and like that. He is the inventor of the TP technique. TP technique, I will not open the code because it is vulgar word, and people say that later on this TP will become Russian name. Later on, he worked as a trainer. He went to the southern Russia, to the areas where the other republics are present, and gave training to doctor and non-doctor people. This technique, it is what? It is just vertical and flat, just under the mucosa or the vermilion to put the fillers. But what is there? It's important. Sometimes even here we hear that our colleagues say, I will put for you half syringe. This half syringe is from there. They are using hygiene prime and very hard, let us to say, the non-qualified, the fillers, to put little amount of the filler, but of course this can end with a lot of complication. Fortunately, in 2020, he been judged, but what happened? One of his trainees, he was a doctor actually, the dermatologist, changed the TP to the Russian lip. He submitted the papers to the patent committee in Moscow, and he got the patent document for the Russian lip as the same method that he is using. I will not go to the detail of because of the shortage of the time, how it is done, the Russian lip. But my message was like that. It is actually even the resonance of the Russian lip. It's in whole the world, not only in Iraq, in Lebanon especially. I think the majority of the Lebanese, they brought this to our country by non-professional ways. And lastly, the Sweden, they invented filtered lips. That the same thing as the Russian lip, just they were doing up to the commission of the lips, elevation vertically and widening of the lips. By the end, my message is like that, even in our clinics, not to give injection procedure to the, even to the, what we call the sub-staff or the medical personnel that they are not doctors, because they will go out like this story, they will become hero of the aesthetic. We don't have the law to restrict us and restrict the other and to keep the border. I don't know whether by the end, I am thinking that maybe aesthetic or plastic